Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, original, chapter number 4, text number 9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvadaha tyakta deham punarjanma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. So Lord Krishna says here, Janma karma cha me divyam. Divyam means not material at all. Unlike any of our activities performed for anything in this material world, it can be your relationships, it can be your marriages done for you or your children, it can be any activities, legal, corporate, agricultural, military, food productions, labor work, any kinds of activities you can imagine. Krishna said here, none of my activities can be compared to any of your activities. Therefore, he explicitly mentioned here, Janma karma cha me divyam. Divyam means purely unique, uncommon. According to Ramanuja and Madhava Acharyas, there is no way that we can ever compare Krishna's birth and activities as one of ours. Not at all. Purely transcendental, divine, divyam. So, you hear, you read, people hypnotize us, saying Krishna and also Lord Rama have gone through so many obstacles in their life and dangers and various other complications and implications in all of their life, whether it is in administration, whether in their married life, whether they are meeting with their parents or killing demons. Everywhere they had problems. Actually, they had no problems. The problems were created by people. Like a Kaikeyi, she created issues for Lord Rama, and he accepted it and went to the forest. It is not he who underwent all these problems. So others have created. But what did they do? Rama and Lakshmana, they killed millions and millions of demons and rid the earth without a single demon. So that was the result. When Krishna advented, he killed all these demons from the day 3. He began to annihilate the demons. And how is our activities and God's activities are equal? We are even unable to catch a mosquito. There are some people, the big envious Mudas, always criticize Lord Rama and Lord Krishna as they are the human beings like us. Even a small yogi can perceive the position of Lord Rama and Krishna. And real yogis are there, living in Himalayas. They are not interested in any of the material activities, even if it is greatly advertised as spiritual. But they know it is not spiritual. It is just a money-making business for the enjoyment of the founder in the name of social service. So, they are immature. They are not trained properly in spiritual science, nor they were worried about reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is the bachelors and Srimad Bhagavatam is the masters. were given by in the mature stage of consciousness of Krishna Dvaibhayana Vyasa. And when he has given us, and he is repeating the statement of the Lord that Janma and karma of mind is always transcendental. Even if you actually see some paradoxical version in my activities and work, you shall not take it as you have an imperfect mind, an imperfect eyes, imperfect ears. Everything is imperfect in us. Brahma pramada vipralipsha karana padava. We have a cheating tendency, we have imperfect senses, we have tendency to make mistakes, and we fall always in illusion. So having these four defects, how can we judge Krishna's activities and Krishna's births? Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vedi tattvadaha. Those who know my activities and birth are divine in truth, tattvadaha. You need to know from the Shastric viewpoint, not my opinion. Those are given by our modern scientists and philosophers. And the spiritualists also start speaking like that. There is a problem in his brain. The veins and nerve systems are not actually connected properly with one another. Therefore, they make these kinds of erroneous statements and advertising that we can alleviate people's miseries by the so-called impersonal meditations. All the guys sit there and close their eyes and go to sleep. And they think they have seen the unlimited divine potency. Krishna is talking here that my activities are divine. They are unable to see that divinity in the Supreme Person. But they actually see some divinity in some void things. These so-called students of yoga, they see some divinity in the void. Have you experienced in void there is some divinity? Sometimes they say Lord Shiva created the universe. He danced with Parvati. So then he actually created all these galaxies and whatever cosmological, scientific objects in the space. But from the scriptures we know Brahma is the creator. Mahadev is only the annihilator. We can understand if he says Mahadev danced Rudra Tandava and annihilated the universe, we can believe that. Because the scripture says that. With his trident, he dances very nicely in a semi-angry and happy mood, and he destroys. He creates the pralaya. That is mentioned. But there is no mention of dancing and creating. That is done by Lord Brahma, the creator. And maintainer is Lord Vishnu. And Lord Shiva is annihilator. Without reading even Shiva Purana, if you are a Shiva Bhakta, at least you should have read Shiva Purana and also Padma Purana. This is the two things are related to the entire Lord Shiva's family. And Lord Shiva's activities are also divine. You cannot understand. When he was actually entering into all this marriage life and all these things, his life also was miserable. So what does it mean? Your worshipable Lord also at fault? Mother Parvati was undergoing severe penances to get Lord Shiva. Mother Sati, out of depression, because she could not take any more humiliation created by her father, Prajapati Daksha, to Lord Mahadev, therefore she incinerated by herself. So, these are the pastimes. In every yuga, when they come to this material world, they just behave like humans. But it never actually gives them pain or pleasure. They are transcendentally situated. Lord Shiva has an eternal abode in the spiritual sky on the south of the Vaikuntha planet, where the original Lord Shiva and Shakti Devi, Vaishnavi Devi, Durga Devi eternally resides. These foolish pranks, they speak all these blah blah things and just misguide the innocent people hankering for spirituality, the spiritual truth. So therefore, we need to know evam yo vedi tattvadaha. Krishna says they must know my activities and birth and various other pastimes in truth. If you do so, what will happen to you? Tyakta deham punarjanma. After you quit this material body, punarjanma, the rebirth will not take place. And you will come to my abode, which is the spiritual abode. A place there is not even a slight anxiety. Tyakta deham punarjanma naiti. There won't be any rebirth. Mam edi so Arjuna, and they will come to my place, O Arjuna. So don't be so foolish without shastric evidences. Believe any kinds of preachers. Ask them to quote the Shastra. Krishna explained in the previous verse that Ajo Abhishan Avyatma, I was never born. I am the Ishvara for all living entities. Bhudanam Ishvaro Abhishan. I come on my own internal potency to revive people's real knowledge and bring them to the eternal abode. And we are not interested. We are just interested in our own universe, just like a frog in a well. Thinks that that dimension of that well is everything. He doesn't see there can be lake, ponds, there can be larger bodies of water, like rivers, oceans, but he is satisfied that a little 6 feet well. So, what do we learn from this? Do not follow anybody who do not speak or quote Shastra. It is a non-coherent knowledge. There is no consistency, nor there is any logical explanations, nor there is any logics. Therefore, these obsolete knowledges are not accepted in the modern educated field. Everywhere we need the evidence, Shastric evidence. Just like when lawyers quote the laws of the government from their respective law book, or when they argue in the court, the judge always asks them the page number the quotation number from the law book of the government. That is only accepted by the judge. Personal opinions and ranting of a madman's argument or logical explanations or hypothesis is not accepted in the courtroom. Similarly, proving God, one needs to have the scriptural quotations. They shall not defy the authority of God by logical and whimsical ways, because all God's activities are beyond our sense perception. Therefore, one of the names of Krishna is Adokshaja, one who is beyond our mind and senses. Ado Akshaja. We cannot perceive through our material senses, especially our eyes. How much power our eyes have. It may actually see the objects located 6 feet away from us or 10 feet. Say 50 meters. What about beyond that? So this is our problem. Similarly, our hearing capacity, tasting capacity, touching capacity, everything is limited. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Yashmad aksharam adidoham aksharad avicha uttamaha adosmi loga vedesha pradida purushottama. Because I am transcendental, divine, to the both perfect and imperfect beings, fallen and liberated beings. I am celebrated in the Vedas as the supreme majestic personality of Godhead, Pradida Purushottama. It is Krishna's statement. We claim that kind of knowledge, then we will have to prove it. Modern people, many of them are envious of Krishna because they wanted to be in his position, to enjoy. Therefore, they are envious. Why I am working hard and giving credit to God? Vivekananda's statement. You guys are working so hard and earning everything. Why are you giving the credit to God? We should know the foundational cause of everything is God. The platform is created by Him for you to dance or work, and you don't give credit. Uchu, madman. So the Supreme Lord descended, as we mentioned before, in the prison house of Kamsa to Devaki and Vasudeva, and manifested his four-handed form. Then he turned to a baby. Thereafter his parents, especially the father, took him to Vrindavan, and he performed there many childhood pastimes to attract all his friends and relatives and animals and birds. Then he moved to Mathura. Up to 31 years he was there in Mathura. Thereafter he went to Dwarika. Rest some 90 years he spent his time in Dwarika by using all these mystic opulences. He created beautiful Dwarika, and there he married 16,108 princes. He killed so many demons. So using same mystic opulences, he also disappeared. To our material vision, we may actually think he died and this and that, when he never even took birth through the womb of the mother. how he will die? Death and birth is only for the Jiva souls, not for the super soul, the Paramatma. His activities are not like us. Lord Ramachandra came from his original abode called Ayodhya in the spiritual sky. From there he came in the afternoon to Mother Kausalya. He was not there, and it was seen by all the sages, including Narada Muni and Vishwamitra Muni and various other sages, Angira Rishi, Parvata Muni, how he was actually coming from the spiritual world. Exactly like Vasudeva and Devaki Mataji saw Krishna in his four-handed forms in the prison house of Kamsa. So, using the same mystic potencies, both of them disappeared from this world. The details are given in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We don't have time to explain those Mausala Leela. Lord Krishna's departure pastime is called Mausala Leela. In the olden times, the ladies used to separate the paddy husks from the grains. That is called Mausala. So that pastime is actually different. So Lord manifested that pastimes to withdraw his activities from this world. So those people who cannot comprehend this phenomenal nature and activities of the Supreme Lord manifested by the pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva Guna, is very unfortunate. He walked on this planet as any human being and completely manifested his opulences, wealth, power, beauty, fame, knowledge, and detachment. Completely manifesting these six opulences. That is the meaning of Bhagavan. One who possesses all these six opulences in 100% is called Bhagavan. And Krishna manifested all these things using these same opulences when he was in Mathura. He defeated Jarasandha and his allies, namely Rukmi, Salva, Banasur, Narakasur, many other innumerable demons. And he killed all the soldiers and left the leaders alive so that they will come again in the next year. Like that, 17 years, Jarasandha gathered armies and deployed them to Mathura to destroy Yadu dynasty. Yadu dynasty was only few people. How these millions and millions of people were killed by the two lords, Krishna and Balaram. And he destroyed the Salva's airplane made of iron. You don't see an iron airplane. Just like a stone boat, we have heard stone boat never float. Like that, iron airplane never flies. But Salva had by Lord Shiva's mercy. Once he heard his friend's death, Shishupal, in order to revenge Lord Krishna, he went to meditate on Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva blessed him with the Saubha airship, and he was killed by Krishna. And the airplane made of iron shattered into pieces. You still think Krishna is a common man, and nobody could do that, but he did it. That is Krishna. So now you understand his activities are divine. When he married 16,108 princes, he expanded into 16,108 Krishnas. And all these girls had their parents. And he married in separate mandabas with their respective parents. And in every mandabas, he was there. His mother Devaki, Vasudeva, in all mandabas were there. As he was unlimited, he made his devotees are also unlimited, expanding into so many forms. These are the activities. And Krishna went to Assam to conquer Narakasura, destroying every citadel created by Narakasura. Fire, air, water, so many large forts. He destroyed everything and killed Narakasura. Who can do it? These are some of the activities of Lord Sri Krishna. So these are divine activities. No ordinary person can perform these superhuman activities. So that time all these demons were thinking Krishna is very ordinary. So it is not a big deal that even now there are many so-called spiritualists as well think about Krishna as very ordinary. When those guys saw Krishna, who is very bluish, having a peacock feather, holding a flute in his hand, always wearing garlands, having beautiful earrings, and having Srivatsa mark on his chest, they could not recognize his position. What to speak of these foolish people of the modern day? So it's not a big thing. A person who believes in Krishna, you have to take that person as great, not the guys who do not believe in Krishna. It has to be other way around. So this is why Krishna says, my birth and activities are very divine. If you understand this in philosophical way, scientific way, when you quit this body, you are not going to take birth again in this material world. I bring you to my spiritual universe. That is the promise Krishna has given you. So there are so many thousands of different activities Krishna and Rama performed when they were acting as human beings. God is the first person, therefore we look like God. God doesn't look like us. The problem with the modern people, they think God look like us. No, we look like God. Son looks like Father. Father doesn't look like Son. It is the Father who came in the first place. So we need to have little intelligence to understand Krishna and Lord Ramachandra's and Lord Chaitanya's pastimes and activities, and also all other Leela avatars. What is the qualification required to understand Krishna's position is mentioned in the next verse. So let us discuss that tomorrow. Thank you. Hare Krishna.